Hi, my name's Cameron Beddy. I'm an NLP and hypnosis trainer. Welcome to this lesson brought to you from the Mind-Body Method. The focus of this lesson is to keep it short, to keep it direct, to give you an experience of the NLP submodality techniques to a degree, because there's lots of different ways that you can work with submodalities on yourself and when you're working as a practitioner with other people. But very quickly, what specifically is NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming? Well, NLP simply looks at how the mind works, and what doesn't. It's like looking at the systems manual to your mind, a guidebook of how your mind works, and showing you, allowing you to experience, especially on my trainings, what you can do with your mind, how you can create things in your mind, how you can change things in your mind for the better. And so you may be aware of what you can do with your mind. You may be aware of how your mind structures your experiences, but most people don't know. They don't have an awareness of what is happening in their mind. It's as if their mind has an agenda, a strength of its own, and that they feel that they don't have the control over their mind or how their mind is working. And so you may think, oh, well, I think thoughts, things happen in my mind, but actually we have a structure. And that's what NLP looks at. We look at the individual structure for the person, their subjective experience, because everybody experiences their life differently. So if you're working towards a specific goal, if you want to develop your relationships, if you want to launch a business, if you want to change career, or if you want to overcome things like fears or phobias, or to be able to deal with your anxieties, as a practitioner, I'm always looking at your personal subjective experience and for how you're experiencing things in your head, because you won't be doing it the same way that I do things, and you won't be doing it the same way as people you know do things inside their head. And so submodalities help us to get more detail of what's happening inside someone's head. It's looking at the settings, the structure, the characteristics of the experience. And when I say experience, all our experiences are defined by the senses that we use. So we all use our senses to take in information, to take in our experiences. We see things, we hear things. You're listening to me now, you're looking at the screen, or you might be looking at your phone or something else, but you see things, you hear things, which then leads us to feel things in our body. We can feel things externally. And in some experiences, we also have smells and tastes, which then we internalize. And then we also have, the majority of the time, or we go between self-talk, which we call auditory digital, so where we're talking inside our head, or we can hear auditory tonal, other people's voices or sayings inside our head. So as we start to break down and look at that, we see things and hear things. Well, how do we see things? Think about what you do inside your head. We see pictures. Or for some of us, we see scenes, scenarios, and movies. We hear things. We hear sounds externally, but we recall information of what other people have said. And problematically, just think how that can be a challenge for someone if they're seeing something that they don't want to see. If they've got a memory, a negative experience that's happened in the past, or for anxiety, if they've got a situation in the future that's worrying them, that's leading them to feel fear, panic, anxiety. What are they seeing specifically inside their head? So on the example of anxiety, instead of just saying to someone, which most people do, oh, don't think about it, or just relax. Well, actually, as a practitioner, we're going deeper into the setup of the mind. What specifically are they seeing, if they're seeing anything? Is it a still picture, or is it a scene playing? And you can imagine how that works then for a phobia or fear, because there'll be an individual personal representation of the fear, of the plane, of water, of the snake, whatever it is. There'll be a specific internal representation. Each person is different. Is that a still picture? Is it a movie playing of something that happened in the past? Or is it a voice that talks in fear about that situation? And so we have the setup and we have the structure, but where submodalities goes further is we get to look at the characteristics, the individual settings of that experience. So let's look at, for an example, somebody who has a visual internal representation, a mental movie. The submodality to break that down, whether that's for a goal they're working towards, something in the future that they want to work towards, how do they see that inside their head? How big is the picture? There's the setting, submodalities. How big is it? How is it located? Is it far away? Is it close to you? Is it clear the way that you see it, or is it blurry? And it's the same with a past memory. So let's say somebody's had a situation where they were scared by a dog. Well, what's the image inside the head? Or maybe it's a movie. What size is that movie? Is it playing? What size is the dog? Is it in colour? Are you in it as if it's happening to you, which is associated, or are you watching yourself have the experience? So submodalities help us to go in and break down the structure of the experience. Now, traditional therapies, they'll just talk about the experiences, but what submodalities allow us to do is to intervene very quickly, to change things, to edit the setup, to change the characteristics, which changes how we feel and experience things inside ourselves. And the joy of being a practitioner is you can do this for yourself in any place, in any time. And the way that I work with clients is I educate them about their submodalities for how they're experiencing, so that they can change their settings as and when needed, so that they're taking ownership of their mind, the way that they think and their experiences. And so if we're looking, for example, at eliciting or working on a goal with someone, and they want to feel motivated, or they want to get clarity, we can adjust the submodalities, which then goes into strategy work. We can change the submodalities so that they feel more motivated, so that the representations in their mind are more vivid or more clear. And we can work even with the inner voice. A lot of people have those challenging, negative, lacking in confidence inner voices, really loud and really direct, but they struggle to find those motivating voices, so we can switch things around. And so just now, wherever you're sitting as you're listening, think of a time where you were totally motivated. Think of a specific time now where you felt really, really motivated to do something, to act, to do something. Go back to that time now mentally. Think back, whether it helps you to close your eyes or keep them open. Just go back to that specific time where you felt motivated. Step into your body and see what you see and hear what you hear. Feel now the feelings of being motivated. And now let's just make that picture larger. Go on, stretch it to the size of a cinema screen and really see the environment that you're in, the colours. Make it more colourful, make it more vivid, and now notice how the feelings of motivation increase. But now, very quickly, just shrink that image down, make it really small. Go on, minimize it to the size of a postage stamp. And notice how different and how the feelings of motivation have decreased. Okay, let's ramp it back up, even bigger than a cinema screen, even bigger than a billboard. See yourself in that memory motivated. Remember that specific time. Step into your body. Now make it even more vivid and bring that memory, that visual closer to you. Maybe hear some of the things that you were saying inside your head when you were motivated. And relax. So not only did you potentially experience a memory, and you can go back and do it again, where you were motivated, but I used the submodalities, the settings, to enhance the experience, and then I decreased it. So you can imagine where someone's feeling anxious or they have a fear, how you can decrease and take the charge off the feelings very quickly, change the settings. And there's lots of different ways to work with the submodalities. We can change things like foods, things that we like too much of, to then things that we dislike. So we can change the settings. We can think of something that we like too much of, find something that's similar that we don't like, and change the settings of the things that we like into the things that we dislike. Then we've got a new experience. We can do that for smoking. We can change the person who likes smoking, who actually wants to stop, really wants to stop, and actually make them feel the way that they feel about something they dislike when they think about smoking. We can change behaviour with a swish pattern. So if someone is always losing their temper or always feeling irritated or frustrated, we can say to the brain, don't be like this, be like this. And we can build up that internal representation of them being calmer, of them being in control, but they need to see that. Then we can ramp up the submodalities and step them into it. And then we can actually explode that image and shatter the other one so that the brain learns very quickly to go in a different direction. We can work with changing beliefs, limiting beliefs, into beliefs by changing the submodalities into something that we're confident about, which can then help you with your business, help you with your goals, your relationships, your life. We can work with fears and phobias to change the representation. If you think about it now, someone that has a fear, they've probably got a large internal representation of that 8-legged creature and a voice that's panicked inside their head. But we can work with those settings. That's what submodalities allows us to do. And then they're the standard techniques, but I've taken it further because I'm working with people every single week and I'm always using submodalities to stop those inner voices, to stop that visual, that panic and worry of being anxious. Because at the end of the day, it's all an internal representation. So there's so many things that we can do with submodalities. And you've had a small experience here, listening to me, watching these visuals. But we'll go into so much more depth on the practitioner training. You'll get to work on yourself. You'll get to experience the submodalities on yourself and as a practitioner so that you're really, really confident. You'll leave certified feeling so confident in all of these techniques that you can just go away and work with people or work on yourself and do them. A lot of trainings just demonstrate it once, you do it once, or you watch someone do it and then you move on because there's so much work to get through. But the training system that I use from my experience of working with people guarantees you'll feel confident and have success with every technique. So thank you for joining me in this lesson. There's a few more lessons available or coming your way. Check your inbox or log back in and you'll get some more experiences with NLP. You can also listen to the audios on the Mind Body Method website and watch the further video tutorials, or please contact me to discuss your place on any of the practitioner or master practitioner trainings at any of the locations. More dates are being added all the time and I hope to see you very soon. Have a great day.